It's time. Hey, what is up everybody? BdaBlader95 here. And, well, this is it. The best bdaman possibly ever made, question mark. This is Omega Bahamut. Now, before I begin this review, I just want to state that this is a collector's item. If you wish to own an Omega Bahamut and use it in games such as Crash Tower, Break Bomber, any game, whatever, I just randomly shoot pins with, I would highly recommend you pay the $130 for the normal gray version. This variation is a collector's item. There has been a little bit of stress and cracking in my 67 barrel. The plastic is brittle. It's been over 10 years, so if you buy this set, I would hope that you don't abuse it. So let's get to the review. So if you've already seen my Alpha Bahamut review, you already know that this is a very big shout out to Revolver Hades. However, as you can see, there's no hold parts. Well, that is because of the core, which we'll get to in a moment, but I would just like to state that this bdaman has absolutely no power at all whatsoever in this form. If you want to use this core, which I hope you don't, you should go get another bdaman to swap the hold parts into it. For the most part, this is just a shell, and it's only used to put 2 grips and a core. Speaking of grips, we have the dark grip. Once again, this time it is in a black color scheme, and it looks really nice. It is a synchro weapon grip, so you do have the sub trigger, and it just looks great. For something odd reason, this grip is probably the best synchro grip I've ever fired. I don't know why, it just feels so satisfying to fire this. And finally, we have the true reason why this is known as the Bahamut, the 67 caliber revolver chamber core. This is a beast. To give you a comparison, here's a loading magazine and here is the core. That's pretty big. It's actually really nice. Now, both versions of this bdaman come with the core pre-assembled. It'll be wrapped up in cardboard, and that is because there is a ton of springs and gears and switches and all kinds of crazy parts inside of this, and it's deemed too difficult for a young child to build, so they nicely pre-assemble it for you. Now, let's put it together. Something I just want to show real quick is this is why there's no hold parts. This is the trigger for the 67 caliber barrel. So, when I add the dark grip, it takes a little bit of strength because this is old and the plastic is very tight. There we go. As you can see, they are touching completely, so 100% friction. So when you fire it, very cool. This bdaman is freaking incredible, and there's so many gimmicks into it. So I'm going to start off with simply loading the bdaman. So as you can already see, they fall into this chamber right here. But when you pull the trigger, very nice. Now, there's 3 ways to fire this bdaman, and depending on how you load it depends on how it fires. So, as you can see on top, there's a pair of sub triggers right here. They're connected with 1 bar, and they are also floating triggers. That means they will not connect at any point in time. And by simply pushing it forward, it fires the top 2 bdaman. It's actually really cool, and I enjoy it a lot. And then, of course, by pulling the trigger, you fire a very weak shot. This bdaman is very weak, and that's mostly just because how bulky it is, but it makes up for it in style. Now, how can you use this? Well, first thing to note, you cannot use the synchro server because there's no firing mechanism here. These will just be there for no reason. If you wish to fire it with a magazine, you need a loading magazine, and that can simply be accommodated by popping off these side clips. There's a little piece right here. You just want to take it out like such, and add in your magazine. So, pop it in, and then as you can see on these sides, you simply put the clips on the corners and load it up. This bdaman does jam quite a bit. That's probably something I should have mentioned earlier. The trigger tends to get stuck, and when it does, you just kind of have to fidget with the barrel to get it to really work. But you have two modes, and my personal favorite mode firing 3 bdaman at once. I absolutely love it. I think it's the best gimmick ever made, as I attempt to reload it off camera. And it's just a blast, quite literally. Now, like I said, it's a collector's item. If you want to use it, I highly recommend you guys, you're going to pay almost $200 for the final battle box. If you want a usable Omega Bahamut, I highly recommend you go on the Levatus figure, or occasionally eBay has it, and pay about $110 and gets the white variation of Bahamut. It's a lot safer to use, it won't break as easily, and you can use it like crazy. But this is a collector's item. A lot of people want to buy this and just go use crash battles and whatnot. This is, like I said 1,000 times, collector's item. Much like my Eclipse Dragon, once I finish reviewing this and doing a Break Bomber test and Crash Tower test, it's going to be in a glass case in my closet. That's just how it's going to be. I want it to hold its value, and that's just where I stand. So, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next week, you will get Ultimate Bahamut, and please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I am out.